Imagine this, a normal morning at JFK International Airport. Passengers from Tokyo are stepping off the plane, dragging their bags, scrolling through their phones. Everything looks ordinary, until one woman hands her passport to an officer. He flips it open and freezes. The passport says it was issued by a country called Torenza. The officer blinks, thinking it's a joke. He's never heard of such a nation. He checks again. Torenza. A neat blue cover, a golden emblem, a holographic seal. It looks completely real. He scans it, expecting an error. But the computer doesn't reject it. The system says, valid. She has the perfect ticket, the perfect visa, even travel stamps from airports that no one has ever heard of. The officer calls his supervisor. Soon, more officers gather. Through it all, the woman stays calm, polite, confident. When they ask her where Torenza is, she smiles and says, "It's a small island between Japan and Mexico." But that's just the Pacific Ocean. Thousands of miles of open water. There is no island there, no map, no record, no government, no flag. Still, her story doesn't waver. Everything about her documents says they're real. Everything about the world says they're not. She's taken for questioning, and the news spreads across the terminals like wildfire. Some think it's a clever scam. Others whisper that she's part of some secret experiment. But a few older officers remember something, a case from decades ago in another country, with the same impossible details. It happened in Tokyo in 1954. A man arrived at Haneda Airport for a business meeting. He carried a passport from a country called Taured. The officials thought it was a joke until they saw the stamps, the visas, the official papers, all perfect. The man insisted Taured was a country between France and Spain. He even pointed to a map, shocked when he saw the name Andorra instead of Taured. He couldn't understand why Japan had never heard of his country. He was calm, logical, and fluent in several languages. They placed him in a hotel under guard overnight while they investigated. But by morning, he was gone. The door was locked, the windows sealed, guards were posted outside, yet the man from Taured had vanished. His passport and documents disappeared with him. For decades, people have tried to explain it. A government cover-up, a time traveler, a glitch in reality. But no answer has ever been proven. Now, 70 years later, another traveler has appeared, this time at JFK. Different person, different passport, same impossible mystery. Torenza and Taured. Two nations that never existed. Two travelers who seemed completely real. Could these stories be connected? History, it seems, keeps repeating itself in strange and subtle ways. In medieval England, villagers once found two children wandering in a field, the green children of Woolpit. Their skin was tinted green, their language was unknown. When they finally learned to speak, they said they came from St. Martin's Land, a place that existed in half-light, where the sun never fully rose. No one ever found such a land. The girl survived and lived among the villagers, the boy did not. Her story remained the same until her last breath. Another world, another land that wasn't supposed to exist. In every century, there are stories of people who simply appear, out of nowhere, speaking strange languages, carrying impossible documents, and claiming homes that no map can find. In the 19th century, a boy named Caspar Hauser appeared in Germany, saying he had lived all his life in darkness. He didn't know where he came from. No one could explain who he was. He, too, vanished violently, leaving behind a letter no one could trace. And then, in the year 2000, a man appeared online calling himself John Titor. He claimed to be a time traveler from 2036, sent back to recover an old IBM computer that could decode time records. He described future technologies and political events that later turned out disturbingly close to reality. Some believed him, others laughed. But his messages vanished suddenly, and his account was wiped. He, too, became another ghost in the digital age. From Taured to Torenza, From St. Martin's Land to John Titor's future, the pattern seems the same. Different names, different eras, but the same feeling. That reality, for a moment, overlaps with something else, like two films flickering on top of each other. You can almost see the other world before it fades. Investigators who looked into the Torenza case found the woman's fingerprints matched no record. Her belongings had no serial numbers, her phone couldn't connect to any known network, and even her currency bore a seal no one recognized. When they tried to trace her flight from Tokyo, the airline code didn't exist. She simply should not have been there, yet she was. For 48 hours she was held, questioned, tested, and then suddenly she was gone. No camera caught her leaving, no witness saw her escape. Her passport, her luggage, her identity, all vanished, just like the man from Taured. Maybe it's a coincidence, maybe it's something else. There are whispers in scientific circles of a phenomenon called a time slip, when two dimensions overlap for a fraction of a second, letting people or objects pass through. They appear normal, human, calm, confused, but their world isn't ours. And when the alignment ends, they're pulled back, leaving only questions behind. If that's true, then airports might be more than just travel hubs. They might be gateways, points where the frequencies of time and space intersect, where someone from another version of Earth might accidentally step through. And maybe, somewhere else right now, in another reality, their officers are looking at a passport stamped United States and asking the same question. Where on Earth is that? Every generation leaves its mysteries. Some are solved, most are forgotten, but a few, like Taured and Torenza, refuse to fade. Maybe because they aren't just stories. Maybe they're warnings, proof that our world is not as solid as we think. Because if a door can open once in 1954, and again nearly 70 years later, then maybe it never really closed at all. This is hidden call sign, when reality bends, and the impossible walks among us. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the unknown. If you love exploring the strange and unexplained, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss our next investigation. Let us know in the comments what you think about these mysterious travelers. See you next time.